Hello and welcome to this training presentation on boosting the performance of salespeople using JobFit technology. I'm Stephen Goldberg, bringing you practical tips on leadership, team development, sales, and employee performance in the workplace. So let's get started. So the question is, how do you increase the performance of salespeople without breaking the bank on trainings and programs that don't produce results? Oftentimes, we want to boost employee performance. We think that giving them additional training, sales training, coaching will make it happen, and it often falls short. So I'm going to explain to you why that happens and how to rectify it using JobFit technology along with the PXT Select. So let's take a look at salespeople. So let's say you have 3 salespeople or a team of salespeople. I have a picture of 3 salespeople here. And often we say that we could divide the sales force into high, average, and low performers. And typically there's the rule of thirds, where a third of your performers would classify as top performers, a third as average, and a third as low performers. Now that may not ring true in your company, but it's a general rule that you want to break. Of course, you want to have more of your salespeople be top performers. In this case, the rule of thirds suggests that 2/3 are average to top and 1/3 are below. So whatever it is, usually there are always, in a sizable sales force, there's always people that are falling below expectations and could be considered poor or low performers. So we're going to see how we can rectify that. Just by rectifying this equation, we could logically, and we've proven this with our clients, improve performance of the sales force overall. So let's say you're looking to hire more salespeople. You want to replace poor performers, or you want to expand and you want to hire more salespeople. Now, of course, you're going to want to hire potential top performers. You don't want to hire average or below average, but somehow we end up with them in our team of salespeople. So we need to understand what will help us avoid hiring the low performers and hire more of the top performers. Just that in itself will drive better performance and protect our investment of training and coaching. I think that makes sense. So the thing is that when we're hiring people, there's what we call the iceberg effect. An iceberg, 10% of the iceberg is what we see. It's above water. And to see the 90% that's below the surface, we need instruments to be able to detect that. And if we recall the Titanic, they weren't able to detect how close they were coming to the iceberg and crashed into it and caused that great disaster. So we need the right tools to be able to help us hire the right person, because the 10% when we're interviewing or selecting people, we only see what they're presenting or what's on their resume, the interview, how they present themselves, but that doesn't give us the full picture. So we need to be able to see what's not being shown. So if you have, let's say 9, as you see on the screen, 9 potential candidates, they all present themselves well. Of course, we always use the past experience as part of it, But that doesn't even tell us the whole picture as well, because are they telling us the truth? How do we validate that with references? Not always that simple. So how do we better predict the future? And this is where JobFit technology comes in to help us find the best potential performers and eliminate the others. What we're looking at when we measure a job fit and we look at a candidate, we're looking at their cognitive ability, their behavioral traits, and their motivational interests. So we're looking at, through the lens of our PXT Select using JobFit technology, we're looking at the total person, their intellectual capability or way of reasoning, logic, and I'm going to show you the graph on that, their behavioral traits and interests, and we're going to match that. That's why we call it JobFit technology. We're going to match that to a model for the job that aligns with the cognitive, behavioral, and motivational interests. So what happens when we have a close match from our experience, from our data? Well, the skills now can be developed because you have the right person. It's like a farmer planting a seed. If you plant a healthy seed and you take care of it, it's going to grow. If you start with bad seeds, they're not going to grow as well or produce the result that you're looking for. It also impacts your culture, engagement, productivity. Everything goes up when you have the right fit. When you have the wrong fit, you're wasting a lot of time, money, and training. Productivity goes down. It affects your work culture. It could also create conflicts, disengagement, and ultimately turnover, which is extremely costly today. Just the cost of rehiring is a huge cost. So if you could eliminate that, you're going to be further ahead. So how do we measure job fit? Well, I'm going to show you that. Here you see a candidate that has an 86 overall percent match or fit to the job. So we look at three areas. One is thinking style, which is the composite score made up of an average of verbal skills, verbal reasoning, numerical ability, numerical reasoning, and then 9 behavioral traits and 6 occupational interests. So that's what we measure. But the key here is matching it to what's required for the job. And that's what helps us or allows us to predict potential high performers. So here's a graph that you see where we're looking at the match for the job. So you see in the scales, OC is the initials of the candidate, Oliver Chase, and the shaded area on those dimensions is the performance model. This is a sample but each job or sales position has its customized pattern. And so this allows us to identify top performers. But how do we build this model? That's really the key. And what we're doing, or what we've done with our clients, is to take your top performers, have them assessed using the PXT Select, and build a model based on their characteristics, their thinking style, behavioral traits, and interests combined together. We could also add other components as well. We have a starting library of performance models. So that would depend on how many top performers you have, how strongly confident you are that they are top performers. We have a method to measure top performers, choose top performers, and then we build a model on your top performers so that when we're assessing candidates, we could see how well they match this model with your top performers and get a report of who are the top matches and then move forward with those people and explore further with them, ultimately choosing who we want to hire. So this is like a full strategy to build your bench strength of your sales force by continuously looking to hire top performers, potential top performers, to replace the bottom performers. So we break that rule of a third, a third, a third, or whatever percentage exists in your organization, to have more this type of scenario where we have 2/3 of your sales force as high and maybe a third or less as average, and completely eliminate the low performers, but continuously moving towards a full high performing potential workforce. Of course, there's other elements involved to bring people to high performers, and that's when now training and coaching and measuring and supporting them comes into play. But you want to invest that training and support in the right potential people. So what we want to do is replace low-performing salespeople with high potential performers who fit a customized performance model based on your top performers. It's really a simple process, but the key is to use the right assessment with the right tool, which is the JobFit technology. According to Harvard, the JobFit approach accurately predicts job success more than any of the other commonly accepted factors such as education, experience, or training. That comes from the Harvard Business Review. So that's it. Simple concept. Hire more top performers, eliminate your bottom performers, replace them with potential top performers who emulate the qualities, thinking style, behavioral traits, and motivational interests of your top performers, and invest in training and coaching them. So that's the concept. That's my training. Of course, I'm promoting our PXT Select and JobFit tool. If you'd like to learn more about that, there's a link in the description of the video where you could request a demo and even a test run of the tool, and we could discuss how that can be tested and implemented in your organization. We can do a potential ROI to see what type of return you can get based on the investment. And it's not a costly process, but it does take a certain investment, of course, like anything. So I hope you found this informative and that you'll look at how you could hire more top performers to boost your sales in your organization. I'm Stephen Goldberg. If you're new to this video and to my YouTube channel, if you're watching it here, subscribe, turn on notifications to get news of new videos. Check out the links in the description of the video for more information on the PXT Select. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk again soon.